welcome to this edition of the Voicefluencer Show. Today we have a very, very special guest. We've got Nick Sawka, otherwise known as the Voice Tester. We'll have to hear a little more about that, I think, as well. We're super excited to have Nick be part of the upcoming episode of The Voice Den, which is happening next week, Wednesday, July 28th. And Nick's here to chat with us today. So Nick, how is it going?
Well, things are going great, especially over at Wonderword, where we are getting ready to release a couple new skills, some that are educational based and some that are interactive story based. So we're looking to do some great things within the space and shine a light on interactive audio entertainment.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to get into all that stuff and gaming and, the whole bit that you guys are really excelling in. But let's, for those that may have not have met you before, I would love to hear a little bit about you, your story, who you are, your background, all that kind of bit.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a 20-year retired veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard, and I recently retired in May, but my job primarily there dealt with voice transmissions and voice analysis. So in 2015, whenever Amazon released their Echo devices, the A-Lady for short, I was very intrigued by it, and then I just kind of fell into it and did a little bit of development. And then after watching Alexa live today, I was like, whoa, development's getting real serious real quick. But with that being said, I moved over to more of the influencer side of the house in 2019, 2020, because I noticed that there was such a big gap in the in people getting the word out about their skills or trying new skills or Google Actions. And I wanted to help other people get noticed and get them the credit that they deserved for the great products that they were building. And so that sort of started my my journey. And then recently, as I was getting ready to exit the service, based on the fact that I had reviewed a lot of skills, i.e. my name, the voice tester, I was able to persuade Wonderword to give me a job, and they said, of course. So I test all of their games before they release them for quality assurance and QA, and I also manage the public outreach on this side of the pond, where my counterpart Adrian manages it on the other side over in the EU. So it's a pretty cool job. I'm very happy to have it, and I'm very happy to have landed it. So very thankful for the people over at Wonderword.
Awesome. And you're doing a ton of stuff, because in addition to that, I know that you've got your team with VoiceSpark Live, and you do an incredible job with that. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that as well? Because I think that's such a great service. And then we're also going to bring Ian Utility in here as well as a co-host to get into the conversation, ask some questions as well.
Yeah, so VoiceSpark Live started right at the beginning of the pandemic. It was me and Ben, and we decided that it first started out as a Twitter chat, and then we were like, this isn't cutting it. So then it was just me and him. And then it was a good fit there for a while, but we knew we had to bring people in, like almost like unsung, unknown heroes of the voice community that people may or may not know about. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give everybody a platform in order to expose what they're doing. And it's been working out pretty good. I think we're up to 68 episodes. And this week we're going to have the Alexa is a Human individuals on. So it should be a pretty good conversation. But what we also do over at VoiceSpark, and this is how I got my job, was we create about 5 to 10 minute YouTube videos just reviewing skills and giving constructive feedback on how to make the skill better. Maybe that wasn't designed for a skill. It should have been a flash briefing. Maybe the sound is off, simple things like that. And so, yeah, that's sort of what we do. And then at the end of each year, we had one annual Sparky the last year. And this year we're ramping up to do our annual award show again, where we will recognize 3 of the top best skills and or actions throughout the voice community. So if you have a skill or an action, you just go over to voicespark.live and fill out the form for review, and we will review your skill and you'll be entered to win.
That's fantastic. And one of the things I really love about the show that you guys put on, and I've had the tremendous honor of being on that show with you guys, is the conversational tone. And it's just so laid back. It's just such a fun time. And then I'm sure that it looks like you guys are having fun doing each of the episodes. We
are, and I'll tell you what, my hat goes off to Ben and Emily for putting up with me. Especially Emily, she's she's a hard worker, very dependable, and Ben is sort of like the business side of the house, where he's like, hey, I've got these plans laid out. We need to do this, and this. And me, I'm the guy that's just trying to be funny and put out some social media posts. So it's a total team effort, and I'm very very thankful to have them on board.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get on to a little bit more about your work that you're doing now. I want to talk more about what you're doing with Wonderword and voice and gaming, and so let's dive into that a little bit. Like, what is it about voice and games that appeals to you so much?
The biggest thing right off the bat is the equal playing field, right? So let's say you have an entire section of the population that maybe have some form of disability. Maybe you could even say maybe they're deaf, maybe they're blind, maybe they don't have an arm, whatever. What voice gaming does is it levels that playing field. So whether or not you have a disability, you can still be on the same playing field as somebody who's 100% healthy. So that's the biggest thing that attracted me to it.
That's great. And so now, let's talk a little bit about what Wonderword is doing. I know there's some divisions within there. So tell us what you were working on, what's going on in the company, and some of the things that you're excited about.
So what I'm excited about is we're getting ready to launch our own platform called Fabula, and that is like a separate division within the whole Wonderword umbrella. The other part of it is PopTel, which is our social media sort of arm. And the other part of that is Polar Night Studios, who does a lot of our internal building, but also is open to take on clients to do external building. And whenever we talk about building, we talk about skills, actions, different things like that, mobile apps. But they have an entire audio studio set up. We have audio engineers on staff. We have creative writers on staff. Like we have good people in the right positions to make the best product possible. I was really impressed with it. And so those are sort of the three umbrellas. And the cool thing is that we are actually looking to partner with a lot of people on the PopTel side of the house. Just yesterday, I was talking with David Beach, who does Happy Headlines, and he's going to be discontinuing that and moving it over to another flash briefing. But he brings 2-minute, like, good-natured stories to people in their flash briefings. We're looking forward to partnering with people inside of the voice community, like him, like Matchbox, like Clint McLean's Parlor Walls, and doing marketing for them in order to show people that these skills are out there and try to create that one-stop shop for everybody. So whenever you get one of these devices, you can go to our site and say, these are the things that I should be trying out and playing immediately.
Very, very cool. So are there some names of skills that you guys have produced as a company that people would be familiar with or that they're able to go out and try now?
Yeah. So the very first one is an Editor's Choice Award, right? So it is The Cursed Painting, which is an audio RPG. So it's actually really cool. Like, we get tons of action and tons of usage on it, and I'm sort of amazed at it. But the entire thing was created on the Fabula engine. There's like 5 expansion kits to it. It's like 13 hours of actual adventures inside of this thing. Yeah, so it's pretty robust. And we just recently took over the custodial duties for Starfinder. So
Cool.
we'll be taking over that as well from actually Amazon Games. So whenever you see it on the website, you'll see presented by PopTel or by PopTel, something to that effect. So we have that, and we also have a survival horror game called Escape 63rd. And what I like about this game is that it's based off of true events.
Huh.
So it's 1893. It's the World's Fair. You are you're Charlotte, and you're trying to find your sister. Your sister got a job a couple weeks ago at this hotel, and now she's missing. So your job is to get into the hotel, escape the hotel, save your sister. But the problem is that, the guy who runs this hotel has booby trapped it and the whole 9 yards. And it's loosely based off the true events of H.H. Holmes. So, yeah, so it's very, very interesting. Again, I believe it was an editor's choice back whenever it was a very simple narrated story. We kind of took the escape the room aspect and redid it. But yeah, it's a heck of a good skill. And the other thing I like about voice gaming I want to bring up is the fact that it's almost like an attention pacifier, right? So let's say your podcast playlist is depleted and you've got no new podcast, but you've got 45 minutes left in your commute to work. You put on one of these games. Let's say you're doing your dishes and nobody else is home. You put on one of these games. Let's say you're lying in bed and you can't fall asleep. You put your headphones on, your wife's snoring next to you or your husband, and you play one of these games. And that's where we're really going to see people interact with them, is whenever they can spare that little percentage of attention that's going to be able to drive the dialogue.
Great. Sounds like fun. Those I mean, the way you describe those games are really intriguing, and
cool.
I'm sure people have a ton of fun playing them. I know we were going to have Ian here. He did text me a message. He said that he's in Puerto Rico and the heat shut down his phone. So he sends his regrets, but I'm sure we will catch up with him some other time. But for now, that means we get to ask you some more. I get to ask you some more questions specifically. Cool. And I'd love for your take on Alexa Live. So we happened to be doing this, and on the same day that Alexa Live happened, and they had a whole session on gaming. So I'd love to hear your take on, your thoughts on what you thought of the session and where you see the future of gaming going.
Well, I think it's really, really interesting, like what's happening, especially at a technical level. So what they're trying to introduce is this asynchronous turn-based gaming, where if I played a game with you, you would get a notification that Nick took his turn, and Teri, it's now your turn. Or Teri, Nick wants to play a game with you. So then we would have the ability to go back and forth. And then once we reached our limit, instead of having to go through the entire player matching system again, we can do a rematch right there on the fly. So all of this is going to be really, really cool. And one of the things I look at Mark Tucker and Snatchword.
Yes.
Imagine Mark Tucker being able to incorporate this into Snatchword somehow. And, like you steal a word from your mother-in-law, like that would be, to me, that would be cool. And, but yeah, so those sort of things are coming out. There was a lot of other things on discoverability as far as like other invocation names and launch intent requests. What do they call it? NFIs. That's why every time you guys say NFTs, I go, wait, what's going on? But yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming, and I thought all the presentators were great. I thought the presentation was great, and it looked like they really focused on what the developer needs in order to be found, which is like something that I think is just awesome. Yeah.
They covered a lot. Like my mind is just like swimming with all the features that they released. Apparently they said in a press release, I mean, this is the most number of features they've ever released at once. And it was a lot. I'm sure people are going to be digesting it. We're going to be hearing about sort of these different features more and more over the weeks and months to come. Nick, I would love for you to share where people can go to learn more about all the incredible things that you are doing, because you are so involved in the voice community. It's wonderful. The amount of time and effort and just enthusiasm that you put into voice is incredible. So where can people go to learn more? And then I've got one or two just short questions for you after that.
Cool. So if you want to right now, you can go over to PopTel's website, poptel.com, and sign up for a contest that we're having. And the only thing you have to do is just put your name and join our newsletter. Once you do that, you're going to be entered to win a 4th generation Echo Dot.
Cool.
That we have. And because, again, we're looking for voice enthusiasts and people who just love the voice game, and we're going to try to bring it all under one roof. You can find me over at voicespark.live and also on YouTube at VoiceSpark Live in parentheses, Alexa and more. And or anywhere where you find your podcasts. And I'm accessible on LinkedIn. I'm accessible on Twitter. Just look me up, Nick Sawka or VoiceSpark, and I'm always available.
Amazing. That's great. So lots and lots of great resources there. I encourage everybody to check them out. Before I let you go, Nick, I want to say two things. Number one, we are really, really excited to have you as part of the lineup for the Voice Den next week on Wednesday, July 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific. And as you'll know, Nick, I mean, the audience gets a chance to ask questions. That's really the format of this show. I think I have a good sense of what you love to talk about. But if somebody were to ask you a question, something to do with the voice, what are the types of questions that you like to get asked to be able to speak about?
I would have to say, what games are you playing now? What games would you recommend? And maybe what developers do you? What are some of your favorite developers in the voice community?
Great, yeah, great, and that makes perfect sense with who you are and being the voice tester and that whole aspect of what you do is fantastic. The other thing I want to mention is Ian and I are thrilled that you are a sponsor of VoiceCon Live. We're absolutely thrilled that you will be speaking as a couple of sessions, both on Thursday and Friday next week. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about what you're going to be covering in those two sessions as well.
Yeah, so Thursday's session is going to be the VoiceSpark session, which is going to focus on marketing and some of the things that we've seen that have worked over the course of this whole VoiceSpark experiment. And then on Friday's session is going to be all about PopTel, because it's PopTel, the one arm of Wonderword, that has actually sponsored VoiceCon Live. And if you go to the sponsor section of the voicecon.live website, scroll all the way down right under Amazon Alexa. I just seen those guys pop up recently.
That's right.
And if you click on us, it'll link you out to our website, and you'll be able to see all the cool stuff that we have and all the recommendations for games and so on and so forth. But on Friday, we'll be talking all about PopTel and how people can get involved. What makes a good voice game, where you can find them, and just different things like that. In fact, I do want to say this. Every Wednesday, we have something called PopTel Wednesdays, where we actually live stream a skill. So 2 weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, we did Matchbox's Animal Rescue.
Cool.
This week, we're doing Rosemary's Fate. And then next week, we're going to do Night Manager, probably followed up with Detective X after that. So this is one of our influencers, Liam. He does the stream for us. And Liam is completely visually impaired. So it's a really cool and interesting time to see people interacting and see the live real-time chat and all that stuff.
Wonderful. Well, Nick, so excited about all the stuff that you're doing. Really thankful, really grateful for all the partnerships that we have together. I think it's wonderful. And we're just super excited to continue to follow along with what you're doing. Maybe one more time, you can just give us the URLs, the key URLs where you want to send people so that they have that fresh in their mind.
So it'll be poptel.com for all your interactive audio entertainment needs, or as I like to say it, all your skills, actions. all of your needs, go to that. And then if you'd like to know more about what we do, just search voicespark.live. That's our website where we do some reviews and some writing. And that's about it. You can catch us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube. We go live over there.
Wonderful. Well, the voice tester, Nick, thank you so much for spending some of your time with us here on the Voicefluencer Show. It's been a pleasure chatting with you as always.
Thank you.
So there you have it, folks. We've been speaking with Nick Sawka, the voice tester. As you heard, we're going to have the pleasure of him joining us for a number of events next week. The Voice Den on Wednesday, July 28th, as well as VoiceCon Live on Thursday, July 29th, and Friday, July 30th. Hope you'll join us there. All the information is at thevoiceden.com and voicecon.live. Thanks so much, Nick, and we'll be speaking with you again very soon.
Thank you.